Yes, we're back on the Game Boy. Because going to the arcades was great, but you couldn't do it all the time. The dream was to have those games in your home, and if you could have them on the go, even better. Having these games at home had only ever been true to a limited degree. This was an era where home ports of arcade games had been quite ropey for a long time. This is 1991, remember. This one's no different. It's a very shallow and limited port of the original WWE arcade game, Superstars, that we just mentioned, when judged as a port. But if instead you just look at it as an early Game Boy game with a juicy WWF flavour, it's surprisingly enjoyable. I know what you're thinking, it looks rough. On the surface it is very shallow, there are only 5 characters. There's a punch, a kick and a throw, they're the only direct commands. And obviously it's not possible to have the lovely colourful TV style presentation on the monochrome Game Boy. But, with all that said, there's a surprising amount of detail and depth here. There's a good amount of dialogue written for every possible combination of wrestlers, meaning whoever you choose to fight against anyone else, they'll talk to each other in a semi-believable way. Additionally, there's a mechanic to exit the ring and fight on the outside, complete with high-risk moves from the top rope and a quite nail-biting race to get back inside before you get counted out at 10. This all happens from a different camera's perspective with some nice detail. Judicious use of this as a one-off powerful star move that you use up and can only use once per match makes the game a bit more tactical and thoughtful than it appears on the surface. And the same goes for some button combinations that can allow access to moves that aren't just a regular kick and punch. These things don't add up to the most accurate recreation of wrestling ever, but it does make the game a more balanced, interesting and compelling experience than you'd expect from a shameless cash-in on a kid-friendly craze in the early 90s. The way you know this one was a bit of a diamond in the rough, by the way, is by playing the sequels, which were all universally garbage. So yeah, this one's worth a shot.